Welcome back to the Top 6 Show. Today we are sponsored by the leading global fantasy football game, So Rare. Please click on the link in the description below or scan the QR code on screen now to sign up to your free account. Welcome back to the So Rare Top 6 Show, ladies and gentlemen. The season is over. The transfer window is kicking off with, I love the transfer window, I can't lie. Lewandowski, misquoted today. Bayern weren't serious, they said. We're going to be touching on Lewandowski. Liverpool fans calling for him to come in. Dembele to Chelsea after the takeover is complete. We'll talk De Jong, we'll talk Torres, we'll talk any transfers you want, essentially. And Cuckoo and a few others. What a panel we have as well tonight. And I know it was sad for him last week, even sadder this week. Cal joins us. Well done for being. Round of applause for Cal, everybody. Round of applause. Round of applause. He's here. He showed up. He showed up after, of course, a disappointing night for Liverpool Football Club again in the Champions League. And we will be discussing on the show today the GOAT manager conversation. We're talking Prem years. So we're not going to go back into the 80s, 70s, 60s, etc. You've got to have been a manager prominently in the Premier League era. We're going to be looking at the GOATs of that era today. Where does Ancelotti sit, ladies and gentlemen? We want to know. HH getting a lot of love. Look at this. HH getting some love out there. It's cool. And I was chatting to HH earlier. He's now got an appointment to see the same hair people as me. He's seen the growth. He's seen the growth. He's loving it. Egal next. You know what I mean? So there we go. But how is everyone? How are we all enjoying the end of the season? Everyone feeling good?
Yeah, I'm happy.
La 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 la, man. I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great.
La la la.
Hey, Callum, please, for the new season, you need to get that on like a t-shirt or something and copyright that. That's like the best line ever. Like, you have to. Please. For me.
Yo, you know what I've noticed this season? This season, I've noticed how much hate Chelsea fans have for Liverpool.
What do you mean for you? Man. No, do you know what? I might as well just say, yeah, I'm here to get cooked. I'd be here if we won. So I'm here if we lose, isn't it? So it is what it is.
I respect that.
Absolutely.
No,
and remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can sign up to your free account with So Rare. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody so far that has. Over 450 people have taken to the app or the website. You can scan the QR code in the top corner. You can use the link in the description on the live comment section. Get that done. It's absolutely amazing. Start building your team up ready for the start of next year now. But look, we are going to talk transfers later in the show, ladies and gentlemen. Some big ones kind of brewing. Some of it fan opinion, some of it real genuine leaks. We're going to go through that a little bit later. But I want to start off with the Champions League final, because obviously we did a big match review, nearly 100,000 views, massive numbers, nearly 6,000 people watching us live. So thank you for everyone that tuned in afterwards. It was amazing. But what went wrong for Liverpool on the night, Cal? What went wrong?
I don't think we played to the intensity that we should have at the beginning of the second half. I thought the first half we pretty much controlled. And then we sort of got lulled into a full sense of security in the second half. I think we stopped using the ball as well as we should have and started to become desperate even before they scored the first goal. For the actual goal, I think Robbo, if I'm not mistaken, pressed when he shouldn't have pressed, leaving space down the left-hand side. Then obviously Valverde was able to get in. Virgil, I think, could have been a bit more combative in stopping the cross. Konate was kind of taken out by the cross and Trent has got to look over his back shoulder. So all in all, obviously, look, I don't want to sit here and say this, that, and the other. Courtois had a fantastic game, but at the end of the day, I think we should have done more to try and score a goal. He was a man of the match, but again, I don't think our attackers did enough collectively. Diaz, for me, looked leggy from the start and didn't do much. Mane, barring the shot he had, which got tipped onto the post, again, don't think he really performed. I know Salah's the one who's getting the most smoke because of stuff he said before the game, but if you actually watch the game, he was our best attacker on the night. But again, still wasn't good enough. We weren't good enough. I think Thiago, Henderson playing a box-to-box role. I think they were too conservative. There were a lot of times where we got the ball, and instead of one of the midfield players making a late run to support the attack, they would kind of just hold their position. So it became we were attacking with 3, but Real Madrid were defending with 5 or 6. With those odds, you're not really going to get in a lot. And then when we did, or we had shots, Courtois was more than a match to it. So I can't sit here and be salty. Real Madrid did what Real Madrid have done this season. They navigated through, and they won fair and square. So it is what it is.
It's crazy, actually, because obviously Gal in the build-up, and this isn't a dig, this is you kind of having a bit, not a pop at us on the panel, but sort of saying we're making too much of a case that Madrid could win this. And it's mad because we all picked Liverpool as favourites. I think everybody on this panel would have said Liverpool are favourites. But the way the game went is just how almost every single game, like to do it 4 rounds on the bounce for Real Madrid, I've never seen anything like it. Normally a team kind of quote unquote runs out of luck, if that makes sense. So you don't do it another time. And they were up against Liverpool, who have been absolutely brilliant. But do you think, Daniel, or do you think, maybe have hope, Daniel, I want to get your takes on this, everybody's take on this, but do you feel like maybe people have overhyped Liverpool a little bit in the sense of me being one of them, the best team in the world today? Simon Jordan sort of talking about, he doesn't care that Liverpool didn't win, they're still better. There's talk about it doesn't matter, they haven't got trophies, we all know how good they are. Is there a little bit too much hype and love for Liverpool? Are they not getting as much criticism as they should for getting beaten, or what do you reckon?
No, and the reason why I say no is that Liverpool are good. Let's remember, Liverpool are a very good team, and they've shown that they are a very good team. The hype, the love, the respect that they get is deserved. And the reason why myself will criticize Liverpool at any given opportunity is because they are good. Remember the great Man United teams, the great Chelsea teams, even Arsenal. We looked for times for their weaknesses. We looked at times when they were bad to criticize them, to say this isn't good, this isn't good. Liverpool are a very good team, and it wasn't overhyped. They deserve to be favourites. It's the fact that they didn't get the job done that we can now say, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Look, of course, come on, we have agendas, and I can sit here and banter Callum all day and say you lost, Trent's a terrible defender.
Which you have been doing, by the way.
I have been doing, and we've done it. But now we're talking football, innit? So I think it's a chance for us to talk football. I just on the day, the argument I come back to, and this is a challenge to, I think it was Terry and Nigel, when I said mentality monsters for coming back against Villarreal is not a thing to me. Don't give them that title after a Villarreal victory. Give them that title when they show great mentality against a Real Madrid who I consider to be mentality monsters. Someone who've been in the heat of battles year in, year out, and know how to win games ugly, well. The funny thing is, look, at the end of the day, Klopp was receiving a lot of criticism for how he after, and look, at the end of the day, it's neither here or there. It's whatever you want to call. Personally, for me, I think where he got it wrong was where he was criticizing them for their approach. The goal was a very well worked goal. It wasn't like it was a counter attack or a mistake per se. They forced a lot of errors. So Robertson pressing because he thought he could win the ball, but he wasn't able to win the ball. Van Dijk dropping back because Carvajal causing an overlap situation where Van Dijk was a bit confused about what he wanted to do in that situation. Trent thinking maybe the ball wouldn't get that far, so he doesn't need to look over his shoulder. So Real Madrid calls you to ask a lot of questions. And I think, look, Liverpool deserve a lot of credit for their season. I don't agree with the saying that them winning the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup is a dead season. However, I do agree that they've underachieved. So both can be true, because I do think in their greatness, they should have won more. They should have won one of the Premier League or the Champions League, but they weren't able to do that. And I do think they underachieved in that respect. But if I want to banter them, look, there's so many points that we can do that, but I'll leave everyone else to do that. But what it comes down to is Liverpool deserved the respect that they got prior to the game. It's just that they weren't able to get the job done, and they got to move on to next season, isn't it?
Callum, you want to go?
Yeah, just really quick one. Sorry, Hafo.
Yeah.
In regards to the goal, I'll be honest, and I don't want to. I want to be very mindful of what I say, because I don't want to take credit away from Real Madrid, but I have to look at it from a Liverpool perspective. The goal was really poor to concede. I don't mean Real Madrid were pouring. We were pouring how he defended that. For me, I've played centre back, I've played centre midfield. Obviously not to a high level, but
No.
you the first thing you're taught to do when you're defending, look over your left shoulder, look over your right shoulder, see who's around you. If you can't see, you shout to your goalkeeper and say, let me know if there's someone behind me on which side. For me, that's the basics of football. If Trent in his mind cannot see Vinicius Jr. in front of him, you have to expect that he's behind you. And even if he's not behind you, you go and clear the ball, because if we can see the corner, everyone goes, he could have left it. But really and truly, it's done. It's a corner we don't see from the goal. The issue I also have, and again, it's the Robbo thing. Robbo for me looked leggy throughout the whole game, but Robbo's looked leggy for a little while. And I think that for me was, you've got Tsimikas there, rotate with Tsimikas more. And I think that was clear to see. So that's my frustration with the goal.
Yeah.
Like Van Dijk, for me, yes, he could have engaged a bit more, but for me, you can't really. If there's an overlap, you've got to see. You see both, and Konate he's helpless in that.
No,
That goal wasn't only on Trent though. That goal.
No, but I think basically it's twofold. I think you have to congratulate Real Madrid, and you also have to criticize Liverpool, because I think Callum is right. You're told this from way back, 6-7 years old. When you're defending, look behind you. Always just look behind you. Just one look. Oh, all right, readjust yourself. But football happens very, very quickly, and it's very fast. And Trent just took a chance. He was like, I'm just going to assume that he's probably not going to be behind me. I'm just going to assume, just take this chance that this ball, as Valverde is going to shoot, is going to go wide and everything. So you have to also credit that Vinny timed his run to perfection. Yeah. Trent, he took a gamble and it didn't pay off. But also you have to say to yourself that, yes, you can say that Robbo was wrong to press. That was a very good reverse pass by Modric. Not many people would be able to hold the ball and disguise that pass as well as Modric. So most guys wouldn't be able to, because that pass created that transition that caused the hecticness and everything. So it's twofold.
I think it did. I'm going to go to you in a second, Gal, because I know that I think I know the angle you're going. I just want to keep on Trent for a bit. I don't think Trent took a gamble. This year, I've seen people say things like Trent is instructed to not go with runners in case
it's lazy.
I don't even have his laziness. I honestly just don't think he senses danger. I think defensively, he just doesn't have the instincts for it all the time. Because for me, it's just you clear that, unless one of your teammates says leave it, you clear that ball. Irrespective of what's going on, you make that right. You make sure you clear it out. You bust the gut for it. I just don't think he thinks about things like a world-class defender would. He's a good defender, but he ain't a world-class defender, and never will be, in my opinion.
And he's improved in that respect. He's improved as a one-on-one defender. I think definitely has improved. But the point comes down to sensing danger, like you said. I cast my mind back to the Champions League final, and hope you probably remember this as well. Last year, Chelsea versus Man City. Do you remember Aspilicueta? There was a cross in the second half where literally it was in the 6-yard box, fizzed in cross, I think by Foden. And if Aspilicueta does not clear that ball, there's someone in behind him for an easy tap-in, literally identical to that goal as well. And we had that a number of times. Chilwell ran 80 odd yards to sprint back and make sure he got the clearance at the back post in the first half. Look, I'm not comparing them as defenders or whatnot, but I'm just comparing situations. And as a defender, that's the one thing I've been saying. And it's something that Wan-Bissaka suffered from a lot in terms of not being able to sense what's around him. 1v1 defending, very good. But in terms of defensive awareness...
30 million to Roma. Boy can defend. So I want to go to Gal quickly on it. Gal, you had another take.
I was going to Roma, don't worry.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Gal?
I was going to say on the Trent thing. When it comes down to it, I looked at that whole game and I look at the whole game as a whole, and I can't say, you know what, that moment they scored because of Trent. You obviously have to look at the defenders. There's 3 other people that could have blocked that shot before it got to Trent. I get it that he should. I get it that he should have been able to clear it, and he should have done better there. 100%. It is his fault that they ended up conceding the goal because he's the last man that was able to at least stop the ball from happening. But of course, you have to look at Van Dijk. You have to look at Matip. You have to look at the men that were actually facing as the cross.
You're right about that. Van Dijk did look a little bit kind of Harry Maguire-esque, didn't he?
Well, no, but
here's
the thing though, is like
I just feel like we're so
quickly.
quick. 1 second. I just feel like we're so quick to jump back to narratives and be like, you know what? Trent lost him the cup. Trent is the one that can't defend. Trent is doing this.
No one said that. No one said
No.
that.
No one said that here, but I'm hearing that narrative. You know what I mean?
But that's going to happen online. Sorry, Havo, just really quickly. If we go, again, I'm not going to overdo it. But if you're to watch the game back, Trent defensively was pretty sound throughout the whole game, barring that one situation there. Attacking wise, he was terrible in my opinion. But defensively, there were times where Benzema stood him up, where Vinicius stood him up, and they got no change out of him. My problem is, and the reason why I'm saying, Terry, that he's lazy, because it's not the first time I've seen him do this, where he sees that there could be potentially danger, but instead of just tracking back and thinking, you know, I'm just going to sprint here, even though I might not have to do anything, I'm just going to sprint here just in case, he will stand there and think, you know what, I reckon we'll be okay here. To me, that's lazy because you're not planning for the worst. And as a defender, you've got to plan for the worst. You've got to be a pessimist. You can't just be an optimist and think someone else going to cut this out or this, that, and the other. We see Virgil every week screaming at either Trent or Robbo saying, stop the effing cross. And they're not stopping the cross because of situations like that. It's lazy. And I don't want to pile on Trent because I think he's had a great season. And on the whole, he was decent in the game. But that has to change in his game or else he's just going to keep getting harder.
Was that by design?
No.
The attack part.
No. This, and again, that's another narrative that I keep on hearing. Oh, Klopp tells him to do this. No, there was times, even from an attacking standpoint, there was a time Thiago had the ball on the left-hand side of central midfield. At that particular moment, Salah has slightly drifted infield. Trent was standing in the space that Hendo should have been standing in, and Hendo was playing in a right-back position. That's not by design. That's because Trent is not being in the position he should be. As soon as he sees Thiago get the ball, he should be sprinting out to spread the play. That would alleviate the pressure on Salah, allow Trent to get the ball out wide, and make the Real Madrid defense have to spread out.
Say that one more time for people who say Trent is there in midfield on purpose.
I get where you're coming from, Miguel. I hear a lot of Liverpool fans say that, but that's because what happens quite often, because Liverpool have world-class centre-backs, top-class and world-class centre-backs, is the attacking team lose the ball, and then the ball ends up at Trent, and they counter-attack from it, and it's like, it looked good. The problem that you have when it comes to those fine margins, and I go back to a big Premier League game this year, Liverpool versus West Ham away. 2 of West Ham's goals because Trent didn't go with the runners. Now, it's very easy to pinpoint that game and go, if you won that match, you'd have won the league. But you would have done. He has cost Liverpool so many goals this year in important games where he's just switched off or he hasn't, and I think, look, I
disagree with that one, Tom.
He's helped in terms of course, he scores and creates. But I honestly feel like what Jurgen Klopp should look to do with him is move him into a midfield or more an attacking role and have someone more defensive. I don't know how he does that, but I just think he's going to cost you. It's such a hard one because he creates so much and he's so potent. But at the same time, he's got those moments as a defender. He's got those moments.
Really quick take. This is why I slightly disagree with that. Everyone seems to think that Trent is creative because he gets to the byline and all that. Robbo gets to the byline way more than Trent does. But there is very rarely a time where you sit there and go, Robbo's been beaten by his man or Robbo wasn't at the back post defending. It's laziness. And I'm not calling Trent a lazy player, but in that aspect of his game, he can be lazy. No,
we all heard that. Did Callum from the Coppish, one of the biggest Liverpool fan channels in the world, just said Trent Alexander-Arnold's lazy. We all heard that, right? If I see you clip that, Anfield Road here says the 2 goals came from West Ham corner, so you're wrong, Terry.
Yeah, there were 2 goals.
But one of the goals from the corner, he didn't go with his runner. The guy who was marking, he let run off him. That's my point. He didn't go with the runner that was his. I remember I actually filmed it on my phone and did a whole thing. I put it on Twitter. And it then got taken down for copyright, but I did it.
Are you talking about the Zuma one? The third goal?
Yeah. Now, he wouldn't have been able to challenge to win it in there, but what I would expect...
You still got to go with your man.
You go with your man, and you jump in the air and lean into him, you do something, and he didn't quite do that. We had a super chat a minute ago from KC. This says, Liverpool didn't control anything. Real took took in pressure, and then Modric and Kroos started spraying passes, and they are dumb Premier League fans who rate Slippy and Fat Frank over them. Also, Spanish teams never lose finals. Casey's a big advocate of La Liga.
He's a Barca fan, so
I could pick that apart quite a lot.
Okay, Barca fan, which is true. I want to put a tweet up. I want to ask Patrick this question first. Dom Hassan, by the way, I want to shout at Dom Hassan. We don't know if you're safe. We don't know if you're well. I haven't seen or heard from you in a bit. man, you make me laugh.
I spoke to him yesterday. He's good, man.
No, I know he is. I'm being facetious. Have you seen his own reply to this tweet? He said, all the people that I don't know that are at MB, I'm basically blocking you. I don't know you. I'm like, bro, you've been working tirelessly to grow a following. That's your followers you're blocking. Like you don't know them all, but they follow you. But Dom Hassan has said that this season is a failure. I don't care what anyone says. Gut-wrenching end to the season. Patrick, do you think Liverpool's season is a failure?
It's so tough because to most fans, like if I put myself in Liverpool's shoes, that is a fantastic season, and most people would dream of. I wouldn't say a double.
You'd be happy with a cup final. You're a Spurs fan.
That's what I'm saying. Without bantering myself and just talking as a fan, a football fan, it's an amazing season. They won 2 trophies. Like who wouldn't? But your standards are different from our standards, with all due respect. So for most fans, it is an amazing season, but because of where they were and how close they were to winning the league, you get all the way to a Champions League final, and it's fine margins. You lose by 1 goal to a team that, if we're being honest, they're better than. Even though Real Madrid have Champions League pedigree and quality, that Liverpool team is better than the Real Madrid team. So when you pick it apart, it is failure because of how close they were, how amazing they are. Like Daniel's been saying, this is a fantastic Liverpool team. So when you look at everything, they should have won more, but you still got 2 trophies.
Patrick, though, like, see, there's a point that I don't really get, which is it goes to the whole Owen thing. You say that Liverpool are better. If they're better, then why didn't they win? Because you could say that's
in a one-off game, anyone can win. Do you know what I mean? Like Nottingham Forest knocked out Arsenal in a cup. It doesn't mean Nottingham Forest are better than Arsenal. Do you get what I mean?
No. So that's why. I get what you're saying, because look, when you look at that first stuff and so forth, 100% Liverpool played better than Real Madrid. But what I don't like guys doing is having this losers mentality, which is what that clown Owen has, which is that Liverpool are still the best team in Europe. No, you just lost. You just lost.
They can't claim that now no more.
So my thing though is that we have to give Real Madrid credit because there is an air of quality to soak in that pressure, be good defensively. Courtois, he still plays for Real Madrid, having an amazing performance, and when that chance comes, taking that chance, closing the deal and so forth. So, and for Liverpool, it's like the chances were there. Salah had the chances and everything. So what are we saying?
Just before you go, Daniel, I want to big you up because I think on the match reaction, you're one of the people to bring it up that defensively, these are how people win these finals nowadays. And I just wanted to go back to the Liverpool point. Liverpool's season, in my opinion, is a disappointment. You can classify disappointment as failure in the same bracket, same way I view my season. But obviously, they did achieve more. Their standards are higher, and the fact that they were in a position, laughing. I don't care.
I love it. Keep going. You're being professional. Keep going.
But yeah, that comment is stupid.
The fact that they were in a situation where they could have got the quad and they could have got 4 trophies. They could have won the league and the Champions League. The fact that they didn't come out of winning one of the big 2. That's why they view it as a failure. It's not the fact that they won 2 trophies. It's the fact that they missed out on winning the 2 trophies that they wanted the most. That's why it's a disappointment.
I wouldn't call it failure. I would call it disappointing. I don't think Liverpool have been a failure.
That's what I
said.
Well worded, Adele. Well worded.
I agree with you. I think you're right. What's intriguing is what they've done, though, is they didn't cash out. The reason that Liverpool have ended up in this situation is because they went for all 4 trophies. And I've explained that it's really mad, right? Most teams don't go as far as Liverpool have for all 4. In fact, most teams don't go as far as Liverpool have gone to winning the big 2, as in the Champions League. And you actually look at the Champions League and Premier League. How many teams have been in a title race down to the last 2 games of the season and in a Champions League final in the history of the Premier League? Man United.
Chelsea
did it once. It is so... And when you win it and you look back, that's why when people put down the treble, forget me as a Man United fan, as a football fan, it hurts my soul because you've seen how tired Liverpool have been these last 4 or 5 games. And it's because every game is just stressful. Every game is hard. Every game is gut wrenching, and it took its toll on Liverpool. I just think if they'd have carried on playing the likes of Minamino and the like in all the latter rounds of the other cups and gone out, I think you'd have won one of the big ones. I really do. I just think you ended up burning out a little bit. And that's why I wouldn't say it's failure. Failure is the wrong word. You went absolutely massive. You went for the biggest achievement in the history of English football, at least. I know some of the European fans don't like us saying that, like bigger elsewhere. But you went for this gargantuan reward. It was high risk, high reward, and it just didn't quite go your way. I'm not going to say I'm not happy about it, because like, you guys could have clocked football and all of us were happy because no one was ever going to surpass that. Do you know what I mean? But you know,
I just want to say one more thing on this quickly. Is it? I feel like this failure, this whole or disappointment, or whatever you guys want to say, on missing out and not winning the league and the Champions League, comes down to the manager and the players. But certain people are picking which one it's on. And if you had to pick, I think it's you got to put it on Klopp. You got to put it on Klopp. Because and the only reason why I'm saying you got to put it on Klopp, Callum, is because he had the opportunity. He didn't manage the squad properly. Maybe he could have done better. Maybe in the sense of Diaz played a lot of games this whole entire season, almost like 70+ games. He looked leggy in that Champions League final. You had situations where majority of your players were not rotated. You could have rotated them. You went really hard against Manchester United in that game where you won, and then ended up dropping points the next game or a game after that. So I'm just looking back. There's moments in this season where he could have done better, and you culminate it back down to, you know what, on a one-off game, you can blame the players. But the fact that you constantly are dropping off and coming in second in these title races and constantly missing out in finals, it does come down on the manager. Same way that we say Pep bottles the Champions League, Klopp ends up messing up near the end of all these situations.
I want to jump in on that quickly because it kind of brings us into the next conversation. I've been quite nice to Liverpool, but there is one thing I need to be really stern on. I think Jurgen Klopp's fantastic. I think he's in the top 2 managers in the world right now. He's world class, and he'll go down as a great manager. But I saw too much. It wasn't direct. I think he's better than Fergie's, or I think he's better. I did see some say better than Pep. I've seen people say better than Jose. This stat that I put out yesterday, just did some research on it, and I want to get people's take on this. Klopp's just won 33% of his finals, 4 from 12. Guardiola, 14 out of 16. Jose, 12 out of 14. Fergie, 20 final wins out of 25. Arsene Wenger there on 6 out of 11. In terms of Jurgen Klopp, you know, and other managers, Ancelotti, of course, winning his 4th Champions League as a manager and his 6th as a manager and player. Where are we ranking Klopp right now in terms of his overall goal conversation?
Real quick. They have to add context to that.
Because
you look at the Pep thing. How many times was Pep the superior team when he was expected to win?
Thank you.
So when you're the inferior team, when you're going up against a superior team, you have to add that. See, this final, I think Liverpool, Real Madrid, they have the heritage and everything, but Liverpool, you expect them to win. Liverpool 2018, you're going up against a team who were 2-time winners and Real Madrid at their peak. Dortmund, you're going up against a team who went on to win the treble with peak Robben, peak Ribery, Mandzukic, and so forth. So it's like you have to look at were you the superior team or were you the inferior team in those finals? Because Pep, that starts means nothing to me with Pep. Because Pep, that guy is a complete fraud.
Sevilla, the Carabao Cup against Man City.
Yeah, again.
We can't.
No, but that all right. So to debunk those 2 finals straight away, Mignolet makes a horrific mistake that is not on the manager. But it is context. It is context. Let me land. It is context.
Go on.
Here's the thing. Just because a manager loses a game doesn't mean it's his fault. If the players go out there and do something mad, that's not the manager's fault. In a Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, Mignolet made a mistake. We struggled to recover from it, and then we lost out on penalties against a team that was far superior to ours, for a team when he just came in and had no bearing on that team apart from half a season. The Sevilla final was Alberto Moreno making 2 horrific mistakes, which cost us the game. The Champions League final in 2018, where Salah's come off injured, we didn't have the personnel to deal with the peak Real Madrid. Again, I'm not saying that he's not lost these finals. The stats are the stats. But there's got to be context. So, for example, Sorry,
No,
so
wait,
bear,
Callum,
bear,
because
no,
I know
no,
the
let me
trail.
land, Daniel. Let me land really quickly. Because if I was to turn around and say to you, Thomas Tuchel is the reason why Chelsea haven't scored enough goals this season, you'll turn around and be like, Callum, context, Werner,
We're the fourth
Lukaku, all
highest
these
in Europe goal scorers. We're the fourth highest.
No, but you could have scored double the amount had you had someone a bit more clinical, right?
Yeah.
So that's the context, Daniel.
No, okay, cool. So the point I'm trying to make here, just to respond to that very quickly, is if we do this context thing when it comes to finals, then we'll never get anywhere when it comes to getting a result in a debate. We literally just spent the time, and you were even the one who brought it up, funny enough. You said finals are, was it you that said finals are one-off games, anything can happen, we never know, da-di-da-di-da. So, like, we can continue doing back and forth. I can give you rebuttals to this point. It's a final. It's a chance to win. It's a one-off game. You have the chance to put your team in the best position. Look, the Klopp thing, Klopp's going to go down as a great, and it's no disrespect to Klopp, but when did Klopp, like, Klopp's still in the Diego Simeone tier. I don't know when Klopp suddenly just usurped Diego Simeone to go in ahead of Jose Mourinho.
Simeone?
Yes.
Let him finish.
Go and look at Simeone's
Wait,
resume.
wait, what the hell are you smoking?
Resume. Go and look at Simeone's
What resume?
What do you mean by what resume?
Yeah, but hang on a minute, Half Hope. Hang on a minute, Half Hope.
Identical.
I'm going to jump in again there, Half Hope. So you've done this. There's two things I'm going to pull on what you said. There's two things you've done. One, first thing, and don't interject for a second, is you basically pulled on the fact that, like, Klopp's achievement losing finals when he's not the superior, managing the superior team, take away his defeats. But it's not as if Atletico Madrid are a superior team in Spain or in Europe. So that means his achievements are worth more. And secondly, you've been on this show 100 times and said that Fergie was a Champions League flop at Man United. Well, he got to 4 finals and won 2 of them. The other 2 that he lost are against a team that most people, including you, Have Hope, have said are the greatest club team of all time. Meaning, so you come on and call Fergie a flop in Champions League finals when he's won 50%. But then when it's a Klopp who's lost 33%, you're like, no, it's about who the better team is.
Because I was going to say that exact same thing.
That's where it annoys me. We pick and choose when context matters.
100.
No. This is it. Let me respond to that.
Really quickly, Have Hope. Can I just say, I've never once compared Klopp to Fergie. Can I just put it out there, please?
No, but
neither have I.
Mourinho and Pep Guardiola.
No one's ever asked me about Mourinho and Klopp. I've always only been spoken to.
I'm asking you now: is he in the same band as Mourinho and Pep Guardiola? And that's BS. If you
I think he's a better manager than Pep. I know.
No, he is. No. And I'll say, I'll tell you why Klopp is better than manager than Pep. There is a difference between you're a really good coach who can improve players and you can manage situations. See, Fergie is one of the best managers of all time. Can you take an average player and make them play beyond their capabilities? I don't care what anyone says. Nicky Butt, Neville, these guys are average. How you can win anything with guys like Nicky Butt, Kanchelskis, Boboski?
So Carl Walker, he's doing all right.
Look, no, come on, Kyle Walker is you're comparing Kyle Walker to freaking Boboski, Kanchelskis, and those fruit salads. Come on,
Fabian Delph.
Okay, he's mid, but see, my thing is that no. When you're a manager,
KDB. Come on, there's loads.
KDB.
But see, Pep goes in so already. He said it himself. I need the top players for me to succeed. Pep can't go into a team he can't build a team from scratch.
Stop saying that.
He can't. He can't.
There's no evidence to prove that. Stop saying that. Because if I put flipping Eddie Howe, or I don't know what example to use right now because I'm a little bit heated, but if I flip and put a manager who does well with limited resources in a checkbook situation, he'll probably struggle as well to buy the right player.
Graham Potter or Eddie Howe, put those two guys
is in the perfect situation. So let's stop doing that, man.
I think
sorry, I'm trying to bring this debate back round because the thing for me is that we're talking about legacy as opposed to being a better coach. I'm quite happy to concede that Klopp better at coaching people than Pep, but that isn't what we decide GOATs on because it has to be based on what you win, right? Otherwise, contextually, Liverpool might have more trophies than Arsenal, but if Arsenal are a smaller club, meaning less money, meaning they're actually more successful than Liverpool. Surely we have to judge it on what you win. So where are we ranking Ancelotti in this? Is it above Klopp, below Pep? Like, where are we ranking him in the? Because I think we would all agree, Fergie number 1 still in most people's eyes. Is it over?
I don't know about that.
Premier?
He is number 1
in the Premier. Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to go. I don't want to go to an era where none of us watched. Like, who would be number 2? GOAT? Like, all things being equal, who's number 2 in the
I
horizon?
had Carlo before this game.
Okay.
What?
But Calum, you have to look at his league,
above
his league
Jose
titles.
and
You
Pep.
see, my thing is that it's all about perspective. Is what you run with. See, for me, I would say if you put Carlo in second, I'm like, okay, I can buy that, because for me, I rate Champions League prowess over league prowess. I'm way more of a UCL merchant than a league merchant. But when you look at, for AC Milan, look at his league record for AC Milan. It ain't great. It ain't great. So that is only blame on his record. But bro, what Carlo did this season with a young squad, mostly with geriatrics who are in a rebuild, it's exceptional.
Stop it.
He always says that word.
Modric is 37. What are you on about?
Stop disrespecting that Real Madrid team, please. Stop disrespecting them.
Modric is 37.
Stop moving as if he got to the final with dead wood. They got to the final
Daniel,
with the same.
no. Okay. Wait, answer me right now. In every game that they played, were they outplayed?
He won the
Yes or
Champions
no?
No, those
with the same
geriatrics
three-
outplayed you at Stamford Bridge.
Wait, Egal. He won the Champions League with the same 3 who started the La Decima, or maybe the one after
In
that.
2014.
Yes, but it's been.
It's
full circle.
2022. Come on, man.
It's been a quality trio.
Who are
moving as if
older?
you're not. Yes, and
Is it-
more
no,
experience,
no,
which makes
no.
it even more better.
Daniel, you're not making any sense. See, in 2014,
Oh my
hold
days.
up. Let me land. Let me land. In 2014, 2016, 17, 18, Real Madrid pretty much either outplayed teams or they were on par. In pretty much every game in this knockout stage, maybe apart from the first leg at Stamford Bridge, they got outplayed. But they managed to find a way, and his substitutions with Camavinga and Rodrigo coming on turned the course of the
What is
game.
your point then? Because you're saying
that's
that
not
they're
actually
they won
correct.
the Champions League. You can't win the
What are you
Champions League.
talking
No. I'm saying I'll give Carlo credits for winning it with a team who were much older and past their best. Yes, experience is one thing, but look at that game. Liverpool should have beaten Real Madrid. Should have. But the tactics, the preparation, and them mentally finding themselves to keep themselves in the game and take their chance is what it is. If that game was played in 2018 or 2017, Liverpool don't outplay Real the way that they did in that first half. No way. I'm sorry, they're older.
Enough about this stuff about Carlo when it comes to this season. Look at the fact that he's done it in all these different leagues. Look at the fact that he has 4 Champions Leagues. He's done it. He's done it in many different situations. Like he did it at PSG, he did it at Bayern Munich, he did it at obviously top clubs, all of them, just like Pep, right? But he's done it in more different. He's done it in more situations, and he has more Champions Leagues. I personally think you could put him anywhere between 2nd and 4th, and the only way he would have a case for 1st is if he had more trophies than them. I looked at his trophies. I just realized he only has 23 trophies to his club record the whole time that he's managing. That's a lot less than Jose and Pep Guardiola. So anybody who's willing to put him between 1st, or I think that's a little bit.
I think it always depends on how much you weigh the Champions League, the 4 Champions Leagues against league titles, and I think that's the thing for me. He's a great cup manager, great Champions League manager. Like it's crazy because his domestic cup record isn't that great either. Like it isn't like he's sitting there with 10, 15 FA Cups or whatever else. But it's a hard one for me. I personally have it: Fergie, Pep, Jose, Ancelotti, Klopp, Wenger. Tuchel's above Wenger. Sorry, because Tuchel's won the Champions League.
So you have Pep second.
Yeah, Tuchel's above Wenger. Even though Invincibles, Wenger come over and even as a top, Wenger come over and literally changed English football in terms of.
He's got a little smirk in his face. I don't know.
He's trying to get a gal.
I got a lot of respect for Wenger because Wenger made Fergie a better manager. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm only capping it, but viewers, I want your take on this.
I just checked it. 23. Just to let you guys know, Fergie's on 48 major trophies. You got 23 for Pep. You got 26 for Jose and 23 for.
Right, how many for Pep?
32.
Oh,
that's quite a lot, you know.
That's a lot. Messi tax.
Bayern
tax and Messi tax.
He's only 50 odd. He's only 50 odd. Yeah.
Again, but context, and this is what I keep on saying about context, and this is why Fergie, it's not just about the trophies and the amount he won. When he took over at Manchester United, they were nothing. Name me a club Pep has taken over that were nothing.
Yeah.
You got to think about these things.
I do understand that.
I'm not using I'm not using that to say he's a rubbish man. Everyone knows Pep's sick. Like, I'm not saying Pep ain't sick, but there's got to be context. Like, if I get given £1 million to start a business by my dad, and I turn over and make 100 mil next year, I'm still a good businessman.
Leave Donald Trump alone. Leave Trump alone.
If I build something from the ground up, I'm sorry, but that person who got the 1 million head start can't really talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Different departments, different criteria, different circumstances.
No, if it's the
You wanna
same
really
thing,
do
but
the
you can't really
context.
talk to me.
One sec,
You can't really
one sec,
talk
if
to
you
me.
really- One sec, if you really want to do the context, Pep Guardiola was picked up from Barcelona B when they were really struggling. They were actually going to choose between Jose Mourinho or Pep Guardiola to take over. Jose Mourinho, at one sec. Jose Mourinho was by far the better manager at the time, and literally that situation was set up for Pep Guardiola to fail because he was so inexperienced and because
With Messi
he didn't have any experience.
and Javi and Iniesta.
I've got a comment here.
How many guys
Get out of
came
here,
in
man. Get
How
out of
many
here.
guys came in
No.
after and couldn't get the job done? Only Luis Enrique.
The same Spanish team that's won 3 international trophies. Get out of here.
Luis Enrique could come into that same team and get the Champions League after that. That tells you something. So don't try that.
Cool, guys.
All right, so why hasn't he done it at Bayern after the other managers then?
And that is his biggest. That's his biggest.
Or Manchester City with the
And Man
most
City, 7 years and counting. 7 years and counting.
Criticism against him. That's the biggest criticism against him.
Guys,
if there's 2 out of the 3 teams that he hasn't done it with, but he's only done it with 1, then why are we overranking the one he's done it with?
A terrible final percentage. He doesn't win his final.
I'm not denying that once.
Callum, let me ask you this. Who's the more successful manager? Pep or Klopp?
Out of who?
Pep or Klopp?
Well, obviously Pep.
So a lot of people base success more than what he does with teams.
For being successful.
All right. So let me ask you a question then, guys. Who's a better rapper, Lil Wayne or Flow Rider?
Who sold the most records?
Little
Yeah,
Wayne.
so
Little
who
Wayne.
sold the most records?
Little Wayne's better.
No, Flow Rider sold more records than Lil Wayne.
Oh, that's why I asked who sold the most records.
All right, so we're all good with it then. Flow Rider's better than Lil Wayne, then, yeah, guys.
Exactly. Context is key.
All right.
It's like saying the Migos are the greatest rap of all time.
I'm saying that a lot of people look at success of a manager.
His players gave him the trophies. His players gave him those trophies.
Look at the disrespect I'm hearing.
His players gave him those trophies.
Where I'm going to defend Daniel, and I want to move on from this, is at the same time as you say, like, players give you the trophies, most Liverpool fans in the world right now say we've got best goalkeeper, best left back, best centre back, best right back, best midfield, best right sided attacker. That's like the best, like 7 or 8 of the best players in the world in one team. Does that mean Jurgen Klopp doesn't deserve credit? Then have hope. It's rhetorical. It's of course he does. Klopp. No. Sorry, I've got to go through some of these. We've got to move on. Is Klopp even 5th in the last 30 years? Zidane. I don't forget about Zidane. The man done a 3-peat at Champions League.
Yeah, 3-peats.
Not in the conversation. I don't get it.
He's in the conversation.
It might be. We just haven't got the time to keep going through it. We've got all those other subjects. That's all it is. I'm the only one who thinks Real Madrid's midfield is better than Liverpool's midfield currently. Technically on the ball, you're right. It's just the legs, the legs, and the age is there. Let's do a few more things here. Ronaldo says, shout out to Forest. Can't wait for the fans dissing Arsenal City fans about European Cups. This is true. There's going to be one more club singing. You'll never sing that, won't it be? I've already read that one out. Sorry. Madrid won the Champions League, La Liga and Spanish Super Cup. English fans disrespected the Riaz, the Europa. Real, sorry, I'm really struggling here. Madrid did this on a rebuild. There's levels to this. Madrid doesn't lose Champions League finals. Trent is the cross spammer Arnold, lazy cross merchant. It would be sorted, says. A comment here I think we could all agree with. The French police are a disgrace. Yeah, that wasn't good to see. That wasn't good to see at all. It was a madness. For the first time in a while, all 5 English clubs that have won the Champions League will be in the Premier League. Funny that Forest have been in the Championship and still have more European pedigree than Arsenal. 23 years out the top flight. Klopp not top 20 is what KC says. Lippy, I can't pronounce it. I know his name, I can't say it. Enrique, yeah, I was also kind of meaning managers that have been in the Premier League. It wasn't an overall European conversation, but lots of top managers in there to discuss on. We're going to do a ranking show for that, I think. Ranking show for that, player of the year. We'll do a terrace ranking show. Am I the only one who thinks okay, we'll have that one there. Thank you very much for them super chats. Now, I want to keep it on Liverpool and go into these transfer rumors, people. Make sure the like button is being smashed. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Terrace as well. Liverpool are losing Mane. He's on his way. There is one rumor that he might be on his way to Turkey. He's going to pick up a transplant on the way. I've heard he's already done it.
He's already done it.
He's done a transplant. Oh, he should have gone to my guy because he's just looking janky, bro. But
wait. Sorry. How expensive is it? Because I am going to consider it. I will
get you a good discount. We'll talk offline. So we'll get that done, my friend. But I showed you the pictures. Mine is
that's good. It's looking good.
Like I like my women. It's getting thick. That's what I'm saying.
Oi, boss.
But Lewandowski to Liverpool. I'm hearing a lot of Liverpool fans say we need this. I'm going to be open from the front. You either need Lewandowski or Harry Kane this summer for me to compete City with Haaland. I'm talking quality of player. Like, calm down, Patty. What are you saying here? Are Liverpool going to replace Mane with a top class striker? What's going to happen here?
No, Lewandowski. No, Callum would not like Lewandowski reuniting with Klopp, man. That could be pretty crazy because Lewandowski, he's still got a good few years in him. Like, the guy isn't declining. So you put Lewandowski in that system under Klopp and how he can bring in guys into the game and so forth. That's a nice buy. But then I think Barca look a lot closer. But here's the thing, though. If you're Lewandowski and you look at both deals, Barcelona, Javi's project, his rebuilding and so forth, this is the guy that pretty much made me who I am. This is the guy that I scored four goals against Real Madrid with. So do you go with, it's like the whole Frankie de Jong thing. Do you go with the dude who you know how he works, you know his tactics, or do you go with this new project with Barca?
I want him to go Barca though, because the rumor has it from some Catalonian reporters that Barca really want him, and they're going to selling Frankie de Jong is part of raising the money to be able to bring him in. So,
so that's why
I am pushing the agenda, Lewandowski to Barca. But what are you saying, Cal? Would you be happy with Lewandowski or?
Yeah, of course.
Weird takes. There's a lot of people that don't like old men in football. Like, when you see Liverpool,
Terry just asked me, would you be happy if someone gave you £2 million in your account? yeah, Terry, I'd live with that, bro. Yeah,
you live with it. I'm glad. But can you see your club buying someone of that level and that stature? What are you saying?
Not Lewandowski, no. I think he goes to Barcelona. Even if Barcelona weren't in for him, I still don't think we get Lewandowski. Based on our model, again, our model can change and be adapted, but based on what I've seen from the owners and from the club over the last decade, Lewandowski's going to be 34 by the end of this summer. He's on a high contract. I don't see us doing that to replace Mane. In my mind, the perfect replacement for Mane, who's been brilliant in the number 9 position, by the way, is Harry Kane. Sorry, Patrick, don't get on to me. I'm just saying. But again, if I sit back and weigh it up, we beat them in the Champions League final. Levy ain't going to be happy with that. We flipping stole Diaz from them. Levy ain't going to be happy with that either. We saw what they did to Man City last summer, and Man City have got stupid money. We all know when it comes to selling players, Levy is about that life. I don't see Liverpool getting into a bidding situation with Tottenham where it goes back and forth. We like to get our business done very quick and very quietly. And Levy's not about that life, because if Levy can get some interest going in Harry Kane, let's say the figure was 80 mil, and he's going to start putting out there saying, well, you know, Liverpool have offered 80 mil. Does anyone else want him for 90? Like, we don't want to be involved in that. Kane, for me, is the perfect player to come in and play in our team, in our system. I'd be very, very shocked if it ever happened, though.
Yeah, I can't see it happen. Now that we got Champions League football,
I thank God. Champions League and Conte,
I thank God. Otherwise, it would have been madness right now. Son and Kane would have literally been flogged to every single club who are looking for somebody. Mane leaving would have been open season for Kane and our Son. So I thank God we're in Champions League. That kind of puts a lot of rumours to bed. So
sorry, just jumping in really quickly. Dan Ashworth has just agreed to become the sporting director at Newcastle from Brighton. That's the signing of the summer, people. There, Newcastle got one of the best director of football, sporting directors in the world. Sorry, I'm actually annoyed about that. That he's so good. Sorry, back over to you, Patrick.
Yeah. No, so I was just saying, thank God. And like Cal is saying, I just can't see Levy. It just doesn't make sense right now with everything that's going on. Conte being there, Paratici actually bringing in some good business. It doesn't make sense right now. If it was last year, 100%, it would have been a lot more viable. So yeah, I can't see it.
Igal, Harry Kane. We're on Harry Kane here for a second. Should Harry Kane push for the move to Liverpool? If it was, I trust the guys from the Anfield Rap have not made up. They made contact. The Liverpool Anfield Rap guys are not. But those kind of YouTubers or those kind of content creators,
they're solid still. They're
not going to lie that they've been told this. Should Harry Kane look to move and join Liverpool?
At this moment in time, I don't think he's going to leave. I feel like he's probably bought into the new project with Antonio Conte. Now, should he leave? I really don't think he should leave at this moment in time to go to Liverpool, because I don't think Liverpool are going to pay him the wages to entice him to leave. He could still have another move in his career later down the line. And at this moment in time, maybe just see out what's going on with Tottenham. And I think Liverpool, their model of player that they go for is not it would suit what Harry Kane does, but would they pay him the money that he would want? And also, would Liverpool spend the type of money they would have to spend on a Harry Kane? I don't think it's going to happen. I think it would be a great move for him, but I don't think he's going to do it, and I don't think it's going to happen.
I think salary we could cover. If I'm not mistaken, he's on 200k.
No, I'm talking about transfer fee also.
Oh no, transfer fee. That's where I draw the line. Like I'd be very shocked if it happens. But
yeah, he's on about 200k Callum, and then plus bonuses and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
do agree with me. Do you agree with me then that for him right now, do you think he would leave to come to Liverpool?
Shall I be completely honest how I see it? It feels very, very reminiscent of when Coutinho had the opportunity to go to Barcelona. Klopp had just sort of started getting his hands into the team and started manipulating how we were playing. We started becoming more of a force. And that's when Coutinho left. It feels the same with Conte. I'd be very shocked if he left. I'd be over the moon. But believe me, if you think I'm shameless with certain things, Patrick, you're going to hate me if we sign Harry Kane.
I agree with everybody. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think Harry Kane, however he behaved last year to get to City, he should double down. His brother should be doing interviews with everybody. He should be back on the overlap playing golf. I don't mean this rudely, Patrick. I know you're a big lad as well. We faced me meet a lot, right? Big guy. But Harry Kane is an idiot. If this was an opportunity and it could, he might win one trophy. He could become a Premier League legend at Liverpool in the next 3 to 4 years. I mean this as a genuine statement. Kane going to Liverpool this summer would be a better, more potent and successful signing than Haaland to City, because he's better than Haaland for me. He's a better footballer than Haaland. He's still quite
right
young.
now he is. Yeah, right now he is. Definitely.
He would become the best footballer at Liverpool.
I can't see it though, Terry. I can't see it happening.
I can't. But he's that good, Harry Kane. He's that good. You can shake your head if you want it, Gal. He'd be the best footballer at Liverpool.
Harry Kane goes to Liverpool.
Best footballer. What?
Harry Kane goes to Liverpool is going to be the most underwhelming signing in a long time, because their expectations.
What?
Their expectations.
Gal, come on.
Their expectations of him were to continue what he's doing at Tottenham. And the standards that Liverpool would have to try to achieve trophies and win trophies, you're not going to win that with him, because
I'm not being funny.
He'll be around better players. Everyone stop for a second and listen to what I'm saying. He doesn't perform in finals. He hasn't ever won anything. And if you're going to go into a team that is demanding to win the Premier League and the
but he has better players around him.
Exactly.
Okay, stop laughing and actually listen to what I'm saying.
Listening.
It's actually annoying. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Just stop a second. I had a dig at Jurgen Klopp. You said he didn't perform in
Yeah,
finals.
you had a dig at Klopp.
I said, nor did Klopp, and I laughed. Calm down. You're getting emotional.
But the whole point is that if Kane, look, and I also get onto Kane for Mexico being finals as well, but if he's going to a team that have better creators, better players around him, he's going to be in a much better position to succeed and do better. So my thing is that, like, you saying that, like, I'll be shocked if he flops, but you're also like, oh my gosh, if he goes, it will be the most underwhelming. I'm like, He's
Sorry,
already
Gal.
Premier League proven as well. You're going to be around the better players, so you're going to be in a better position to actually execute. So,
and it's not always going to be on Harry Kane as well. It will be like in finals for Tottenham, it's Kane or Son. You stop those two guys, you essentially stop Tottenham.
What final?
Pardon, sorry?
What
Champions
final?
League final, Carabao Cup finals. We've been in quite a few finals. That's the point. But listen to what I'm trying to say. If you let me land, If he plays for Liverpool, there's so many dangerous players on that pitch. It's not just about Kane, and that gives him the space to then do what he does, which you all know what he can do.
This is not even a dig because I rate this player, but I'm just going to use it as an example. If Saka went to Liverpool tomorrow, let's say Saka went to Liverpool or if Saka went to Man City, does he get better numbers than what he gets at Arsenal?
Expectations wouldn't be as high. That's what.
No, that's not the question though. Does he get better numbers?
Potentially,
based on how he plays and dealing a bit.
Potentially.
No, it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no question.
This is my point with Harry Kane. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about the finals, but again, context. Tottenham shouldn't even have been in the final. And with all due respect, Patrick, if Tottenham had beat Liverpool that night, it would have been a massive upset. We were way ahead of them.
Yeah.
Not to mention Kane was coming back off an injury for that final. So
he shouldn't have even played in that final. To this day, I'm so angry at Poch. Moore should have started.
Check this year. Gal, check this. Right now, he's creating stupid amount of chances for Son, right? Because Son is the second best player at Spurs. Arguably the first, depending on who you speak to. At Liverpool, behind him, up until recently, he had Harry Winks, Højbjerg, and a couple of other men who were decent footballers, not very creative or great on the ball or what have you. Defensively, Tottenham are very leaky as well. Now, if you put Harry Kane in the team that has Trent, who's a creative genius, you have Robbo and Tsimikas who can cross a ball, you have Virgil who can pick out a man from the back, you got Thiago who can pick out a man, you got Cato who blows a hot and cold but sometimes can pick out a man. You've even got Fabinho who can pick out a man certain times. You've got Salah who creates and score goals. And you've got Diaz. And you'll still have Jota as well. Bro, his numbers are going to be crazy.
Yeah, can I ask you a question?
But the reason why
I've got a question for you, Miguel. Let me just raise this question. Do you not think he would be a success overall for Liverpool, scoring many goals, breaking records, just because he hasn't performed in finals? You don't think he could become one of the greatest strikers for Liverpool in the Premier League era just because he hasn't scored goals in finals?
Personally, I feel like he could still be a success, but at the same time, I'm looking at it from this perspective where he's 28 years old. He's still in a good age. He's in his prime, but all he could do from here is fall off a cliff. In my opinion, all he could do from here is if he goes for 100+ million and expectations are on him that never have been on him, the pressure that's on him that he's never had, everything on him. And in my opinion, he could potentially also drop off. I'm not saying it's
I know. I can see your fear. Now, Patrick's scared it could happen to lose one of the best players.
No, I'm not. I genuinely don't think it will happen. I'm not scared.
I mean, if it happened, you'd be like, oh my God, we're losing Harry Kane, right?
Yeah, of course.
Gal's got a different type of fear. It's if he goes to a team like Liverpool and wins the Golden Boot three or four more times, scores 150 odd goals, wins the Champions League and 3 Premier Leagues. You're scared. Henry crown could go. I see you.
Okay.
You know, by the way,
don't worry about that.
The British media will crown it. The British media will crown him.
Let's not act like guys like Paul Pogba have moved from Juventus to Manchester United for 90+ million, and everyone's expectations of him was so high. Similar to
I knew he wasn't going to.
And can he live up to the expectations?
But how does Pogba from Juventus to Man United have any relation?
I'm saying the expectations of a player when they're moved for so much money is much higher than what you're expecting from him now.
Pepe.
All right, let me ask you.
Pepe, 72 million. We expected high things from him. He's been an absolute flop.
Really quickly. Harry Kane, is he better than Jota and is he better than Firmino? And I'm not going to use Mane at the moment because we don't know what's happening with his future. Is he better than those two players? Is he better than Jota and Firmino?
Yes, but he's also more injury prone than those players also.
No, you're right.
You know what? The misconception about the injuries,
he's right. But when he's injured, we've still got a Jota and a Firmino we can call on.
No, but then you're paying 100+ million for a player who might get injured for the most important part of the season.
Brother, we got Thiago for 25 million. He was out for most last season.
And you know what? Thiago is the definition of a non-Liverpool signing. That is
Oh,
Thiago, in my opinion, you guys broke your mold for Thiago. Listen to what I'm saying. Thiago Alcantara was the first time in this Klopp era where you guys went for a player who was already established, already a superstar, and also is a little bit older and could potentially be sitting on the bench a lot more because of his injuries. Where if you sign Harry Kane, he's going to be another one of those guys.
Just a disclaimer for you guys. Last season, or the season that just passed, Harry Kane played 37 out of 38 games.
That's what I was about to say. That
the year before that, he played
No,
35.
That's what I'm saying. He's
am I
not
wrong to say
injury
Thiago
prone. He's
was
not injury prone.
out
This
of
is
the
the
mold of a
misconception
Liverpool
people keep
signing
saying
up
Harry
until that
Kane's.
point?
If you get a bad whack to your ankle and you're out for food, it's mad. It's mad.
No, literally.
Terry, I've got a kick. It's 7
second.
o'clock. It's past 7.
Callum, am I incorrect to say Thiago was a non-Liverpool signing in the sense the way that you signed, the way that you potentially
You're wrong.
your players
when you say he's a
non-Liverpool,
when you say he's not a non-Liverpool signing, are you saying he breaks away from the mold of the type of player we're getting,
Yes.
or how he's performed?
The type of player you would sign.
Oh yeah, he breaks the mold, yeah. But in terms of what we got out of him, I think, and again, at the beginning of the season, if I'm not mistaken, I did say he'd be good, and he was.
I don't even think it breaks the mold. Again, it's a Twitter thing where they say we buy players before they're superstars, not when they're superstars. Like when you're dropping 70, when you're breaking world records for goalkeepers, it's because you think he's pretty damn good. Like I'm not saying Liverpool Naby Keita was tearing up the Bundesliga when he was bought. Now I'm not saying he was in the same breath as a Thiago what he won, but also you didn't buy Thiago at 22 years, 23 years of age when he had his whole career ahead of him. I don't personally see that, but
I know. Example. They were linked to Basuma at the same time. I'm not saying Basuma and Thiago are in the same breath. I'm just saying at the same time, they were linked to Basuma before this whole court case thing happened. And if they would have signed Basuma instead of Thiago would have been more fit, would have been more available. He would have been more fit, more available than Thiago that season. He's already Premier League proven. That would have been a Liverpool type signing. And Callum, do you agree with me that would have been more of a Liverpool signing than Thiago?
We didn't get Basuma because we kept Genie.
Okay. That is also another take, but he ended up leaving. but my point is,
yeah, you're funny.
You agree with my premise, though? Do you not?
No, it broke the mold, but it wasn't.
It wasn't delusional on the chat.
No, but it wasn't. But it wasn't crazy ago because we didn't spend stupid money on him.
I think again. I think there's I think you're 50% right in the sense of.
I'm gonna have to shoot.
Yeah, I know you got to shoot.
You left me on a bad note, though, Gal. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Yeah. Bro, I wasn't even trying to wind you up. I'm a nice guy with Liverpool.
I know you are. That's why it hurts so much, bro. I don't expect something like that out of Daniel, bro.
This is a juicy chat, man.
I appreciate it, boys, and I'll catch up with you guys soon.
Yeah. Love.
We are, of course, continuing here, people. I want to do a big shout out to So Rare. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now to take you to the website. Sign up to your free account. The world's leading global fantasy football game where it's free to play, but you can win actual NFTs with real monetary value. I won over £600. £600 worth that I have had. I'm not sure if KJ is going to be coming in to join us, but listen, guys, Chelsea's takeover officially went through today. You link with Ousmane Dembele. I see announced Koundé. They're talking about infrastructure and spending more money and keep. They're basically saying we're not going to be the Glazers. How excited are you two about the future now of Chelsea Football Club?
Actions speak louder than words, man. You know, I think it's one of those things of where you just let's see what Todd Bowley does, man. Let's see what your boy Todd B does, because Todd B said, okay, you know what, I want to buy players. The first guy is Ousmane Dembele, but actions speak louder than words, because it's all good talking the talk, but you have to walk through the walk. So let's now see who comes in. Let's see how active Chelsea, because 100% Chelsea need players. Like, if I have to see Mason Mount start on that right flank for next season, man, I don't know what I'm going to do, bro. I don't know what I'm going to do, because, bro, Chelsea's entire attack needs to be completely revamped, because it has been garbage. Like, the fact that Mason Mount is Chelsea's top scorer is disgusting. It is disgusting. So I think that whole thing needs a total revamp, man. Total revamp.
Okay. In reference to the takeover specifically, I think it is exciting. I do agree with one part of what you said, HH. And it is the actions speak louder than words. Obviously, when you get a new owner, obviously they've spoken a lot. They've spoken about they want to create a culture. One of the first things that they said they want to change that has been highlighted is the sacking and hiring culture that Roman obviously had. It's actually interesting. I was in a conversation the other day where people were talking to me and asking me questions on whether I think our standards as Chelsea have dropped. And I actually said, I don't think our standards ever dropped. I just think better models and better recruitment structures came in place in the form of Man City and Liverpool that are better than ours. And were better than the model that we were currently facilitating under Roman. So, like, it wasn't necessarily to do with our standards dropping. I just thought we maybe did the model that we normally do, sacking and hiring a manager, buying certain players, buying players for a lot of money. And it isn't working at the rate that it was working during its early years. So I guess maybe a fresh start was needed. And I'm so excited because we're going into the unknown. Obviously, a lot of people, especially Igal, when we've been discussing this, Igal's obviously given the other side of it, which is still there, and it's definitely there present, that it might not work and it might not be what everyone thinks it could be, or it won't be like Roman. You replace a guy we bought for 80 million and buy someone for 100 million. It might not be like that. However, look, the flip side is it could be even better. That we don't make mistakes in the transfer market. We don't buy the wrong players. We actually build from within. We use more of our youth because we're seeing constantly a lot of our youth players play at a top level. I mean, Mark Guehi lost the Championship playoff final last year and is now on course to being Crystal Palace's captain. And then you look at Levi Colwill, who even besides the own goal had a fantastic game at the back. And now I think he's going to come in and be someone who can definitely contribute to the team next season. So I'm excited, man. And I think all Chelsea fans should be excited as well.
Do you also do you want Conor Gallagher in the first team? I
don't want this to be
I don't personally.
Yeah, but you don't want any youth player in your flipping team, HH.
Yeah.
No matter who it is.
It's not even a political answer. I just think I want the best players and the players that Tuchel values. I want the players that Tuchel thinks are going to help him win. If Conor Gallagher is who he thinks can win, then I back it all the way. Do you know what I mean? Because I like Thomas Tuchel. So I'm backing whoever he wants to play. If he thinks Emerson can be a good backup, then I'm all for it. If it doesn't work, then we will be here talking on this channel saying he was the wrong player. We should have carried on with him. So
I think Chelsea needed this, to be fair. Like you said, Daniel, like there's a change in recruitment strategies, there's a change in structure, there's a change in how ownerships get the best out of their clubs. And Roman was never going to change. You know what I mean? Like Roman was never going to change his model for that because it's worked for him. You know what I mean? He got him a champion. He's got him 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Leagues, like all these league titles. So he was never going to change. But in that stubbornness, it was slowly taking you back, even though you still picked up trophies. It's not as sustainable. If you look at the 10 years when Roman came in at first, compared to when no one had any money, and then the 10 years after when everyone gets money, your trophy count goes down and the frequency goes down as well. So I feel like you guys have needed this. And people have been saying, you've got the American owners now, you've got Glazers 2.0. Like, that's not the case. The fact that you guys haven't got that debt, you got no debt to repay, is massive. I think it's very, very massive in the way that you guys are going to run it. It shows the intention of your owners. And going forward, I think the closest team to challenge Man City and Liverpool, especially now going forward, is Chelsea. And I think you guys will be up there. Maybe not straight away, but give it 2 years, maybe 3 years, and you'll be there, in my opinion.
I can't wait 3 years, man. I can't wait 3 years.
KJ. This Chelsea team needs a massive rebuild. It
doesn't need a massive rebuild.
Wait, hold on. Wait. You're talking about this. Chelsea, not Arsenal. Arsenal need a massive rebuild, not Chelsea.
1 second. You guys are losing defenders. You guys always speaking about your midfield getting older and your midfield with Conte needing to be replaced. Other players in your team not scoring. Your attack not firing. Let's be honest. I'm not being disrespectful here. I'm being honest. You do need a massive rebuild, and if your recruitment has not been as good as it has been over the past couple of years, then you don't change that quickly. If your ownership doesn't have a lot to already deal with already behind the scenes, they also now have to deal with a big rebuild, and it's up to Thomas Tuchel. It's up to the people running the club, and I just want to see how it goes. I'm not even going to try to throw smoke. I'm literally giving you the facts.
I get that. Can I just say as a final point? and this is to all Chelsea fans. Look, everyone has their opinions on players and guys that they think should be in the team, guys that they think should be signed, guys that they think should stay, and guys that they think should be sold. At the end of the day, what I would say is that I would hope that Todd Bowley and everyone to do with Chelsea will be less emotional than fans. Fans are allowed to be emotional. Fans are allowed to want players out. Fans are allowed to want players in. However, I don't want that. I want us to.
You want Lukaku to stay?
No, it's not about Lukaku. Funny.
I don't.
Daniel needs him to. Daniel had 3,000 Big 4-4 t-shirts made, and he ain't got to sell them yet. He needs them to perform. That's what it is. That's what it is.
No, but my thing is, it's honestly what it comes down to is, look, I need guys like Kante who I think can bounce back. You don't go from being our most valuable player in our Champions League run and also in the push towards top 4 to then suddenly having a bad season and then you need to be sold.
And that's why United wants him. That's why United wants him.
I'm going to say this as well. Listen, I think sometimes I get where a gal's coming from, and there are a number of players leaving. There's some underperformers, but I think sometimes the word rebuild, I think is sort of touted about a little bit too much. We're going to speak Man United next, but people are talking about, I need a massive rebuild and the new manager is going to get rid of so much dead wood. I'm like, but Cavani and Lingard and Mata and Matic and Bailly and there's a few others names in there. They were going to leave if Ollie was still here. Like 6 or 7 of the ones that Eric's kicking out were going to go under Ollie. It's almost that was going to happen. But if Ollie was still here, we wouldn't be calling it a rebuild. We'd just be calling it like a normal summer and whatever else. And I think that Chelsea were damaged last season more so by the circumstances. They had a tough December where lots of other teams were allowed time off because of CV and they weren't. They got a bit tired in the area. And then with everything that happened with Roman, I just think it took hold of this group and of this team and everything else. A couple of defenders, a decent attacker and a new midfielder, 4 or 5 signings. That's all. Thomas Tuchel already has his system integrated. There'll be a bounce with the new owners coming in. There'll be an element of we know where we're going. This team, I'm not going to say they're going to challenge for the title next year straight away, but they will be dangerous and they'll be very, very good for me straight away next season. I don't think there's going to be any need to overtly integrate. They're going to bring in players that are perfect for Thomas Tuchel. I think the new ownership, even more so than Roman would have done. They're going to bring in players.
That's a lot of ifs, Terry.
But the ifs, I think, are very, very likely. I think they're very, very likely to happen.
I think we do this with a lot of teams. We look at all the negatives and we look at all the positives. I feel like with Chelsea, it's somewhere in the middle. And realistically, there's a lot of things that are going to have to go right. And there's a lot of things that could possibly go wrong. And realistically, with new ownership, it's a very exciting time for the fans. But at the same time, it's a very it's not going to be a smooth transition.
Yeah, I get that, but it is going to be a smooth transition because what they're not doing at Chelsea is they're not changing anything internally straight away. So the way it's being run, the people making the decisions are all remaining in their positions. And over the course of the next couple of years, they'll slowly integrate their own people if those individuals are not what they want. So what you're not going to have, players are going to turn up to pre-season and it's going to feel like it did on the Roman. It's going to be the same faces, the same people, same coaches. Marina's still going to be there. So they're actually doing, for me, they're doing it the right way. They're not doing right what David Moyes did when he took over at Man United and going, I'm clearing out everything that was successful and bringing in my own way of doing things. They're just going, right, we're just going to let you guys continue to do what you do. We're going to financially support you and we'll slowly integrate and learn from you. You'll learn from us and we'll make it better. I just don't believe that Chelsea next year are going to be struggling for top 4. I don't believe Chelsea next year are going to be written off in the Champions League. I don't think that Chelsea are going to be playing Liverpool and City, and City and Liverpool fans are going to go, this will be a walk in the park. Chelsea are going to be dangerous and potent next year, no doubt in my mind.
You see, for me, Chelsea with a striker that was pretty much inconsequential and a Mason Mount who was the top scorer, reached the FA Cup final and the Carabao Cup final and lost on penalties. So if you now add in a creative attacking player, an actual goal scorer, bolster up their attack, I would expect Chelsea to do a lot better and match a proper title challenge on the trophies.
If you keep continuing to pay those like draw payments that you've been getting like last season, you know what I mean? I see you are slipping it into the FA about the easy teams you got for your runs to those finals.
Hey, look.
If you continue to pay that, then yeah, of course you'll get to a final.
I mean,
I heard Liverpool bid more this year in the Champions League. That's why they played nobodies until the finals. So
100%. I mean, we just took a page out of Man City's book, so we understood.
Look, since we've been doing that for years, man. man. Look at that left fraudiola, that damn fraud, man.
Yeah, listen, I think it's going to be interesting times. From your point of view, H. Ousmane Dembele, Dean Jones on the Done Deal show earlier sort of said, essentially really keep an eye on this one. I know you're a big fan of him. Do you think he could come and cook in the Prem under Tuchel?
Look, he's the Oos. Let me give you the facts about the Oos. The Oos was created by Tommy T in the yellow and black realm of Dortmund. The Oos has never shown up for Barcelona. We've only seen glimpses of the Oos at Barcelona. Terry, do you know how hard it's been having to watch Ziyech, having to watch that clown Werner, having to watch Mason Mid for a whole season? Guys with zero technique, zero technique, zero sauce, and zero Salini. Absolutely nothing. These guys have no sauce whatsoever. I have been dreaming of Zad. Let Zad come with his burgers, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. Let him come. An overweight Zad with 2 pot bellies can do better than the clans about to watch this whole season. So if the Oos can come in under a guy who he's already worked with and is fully fit, you could see a guy actually bring some real sauce to the in the Premier League. Who is really skillful in the Premier League? Who has any sauce in the Premier League? No, nobody. What, Salah? Huh?
No,
that freaking industry plant, De Bruyne. The Oos is actually going to bring you back the days of Cantona, Asprilla, Zola. That's what the EPL needs.
No. What I'll say is, look.
Did you just say no one in the Premier League has sauce?
Wait, one sec.
Who has sauce?
One sec. What I'll say is with Ousmane Dembele is, in terms of, even though me and have disagree in terms of the players that we have currently, I think what he adds to our current team is the ability 1v1 demon in terms of speed and directness, ability to one thing that we've lacked in our attack is gravity. We don't have any players who attract 1, 2, 3 players, and that can free up more space and time for other players to show their quality. I think, look, we were very, very fortunate with having,
which is what William used to do.
William used to do. No, it's true.
Right,
we did
that start.
Yeah, exactly.
Dembele
has that, and I do think that, like, you have to remember that Dembele was also, like, obviously Mbappe has gone clear, but those were supposed to be the 2 star boys of French football, and I think Dembele still has that ability in him. We saw it in the second half
on the screen,
man. We saw his ability in the second half of the season for Barcelona. And I think he'd be a brilliant signer for us, no doubt. 1,000.
You know what? Can we just address the foolishness that Have Hope just said about being the Cantona and who else did you say?
Asprilla.
What was good? Cantona, Asprilla, Zola, like guys without missing. Do you know, like apart Hazard is the last player that brought that dazzleness. Who?
No, listen. Man United fans got cooked for comparing Bruno Fernandes to Cantona. Yeah,
no, but he's not comparing though.
No,
he's not comparing though.
I'm not comparing.
What
I'm saying that's bringing the kind of individual superstar box.
Yeah, and Man United fans were saying, the impact, the bravado of Bruno Fernandes, bro. So it's the same thing. Don't put those two things.
No, it's not wait. Don't compare Bruno and the Oos.
No, he's not comparing their technical ability, but I get where KJ is coming from here. We're going to move on to Man United in a minute, but Josh here says, I think Grealish fits better in Chelsea's system. That system would unleash his quality.
Josh, induct yourself.
Premier League predictions. Man United first, Chelsea second, City.
Yeah, he's on drugs. No, this guy, he takes drugs.
Stop this here. Sleep says, smooth as in Terry, as if Terry looked at Lukaku struggling. I meant smooth transition of owners, not Lukaku's touch or running.
Sleep, go to bed.
Strategic rebuild and Legal's massive rebuild are not the same. Chelsea need a strategic rebuild.
Rebuild. Noise it.
I don't know. United should sign De Jong, Timber, and Nunes. Well, listen, we are talking Manchester United now. Like, there's such the rumors around Man United's transfers are so interesting for me, and I'm even starting to see Man United fans now that create content. I'm gonna leave myself out of this, that are bickering over now, depending on which journalist they will have on their channel. Oh, mine said this and mine said that. I'm like, you probably realize we're talking to more than one player in case one we miss out on. But Timber of Ajax, Pau Torres, De Jong. these three, Darwin Núñez, they're probably the three names we're linked to with the most credible sources, are ranging from in discussions right through to these deals are nearly done, depending on which journalist or their sources say. Is that good business in your opinions for Man United? So I go to Gal first. I want to hear from David, who joined us as well. If United saying De Jong, Timber, Darwin Núñez, and Pau Torres this summer, is that good quality to improve the Man United team?
Paulo Torres has been linked to a lot of teams lately. He looks like a good center back. I don't watch him every week. Timber, I don't know anything about him, so I'm gonna have to wait. De Jong, that would be a nice signing. Honestly, I would love to have De Jong at Arsenal, but obviously we're not gonna get that done. But you guys getting De Jong, that shows Ten Hag has massive pull. And the Núñez one is the one that I question. Where, first of all, is he going to come in to be a starter, or is he going to be coming in to be the potential replacement for Ronaldo when he leaves? And would he be willing to move for that price at this moment in time in his career to come in as a backup if he does end up playing as a backup?
So on that, in terms, that was what Dean spoke about that today, and the source kind of out of Portugal and everything sort of said it's what Man United want. The players up for the player to get to play with Ronaldo for a year for most attackers is gold dust, learning from him, etc.
At 37?
At 37, because he's still, again, he's helping him. Edison Cavani has recommended, fellow countryman, has told Darwin Núñez that it's the place for him to go as well. So I don't really think it's an issue for him in terms of 22 years of age, 32 goals this season, scored against a lot of the big boys in the Champions League. I don't think a year of being integrated into Man United's team, into the Premier League, would be too much of an issue. But what I want, I'm a bit like you, I'm still on the fence whether he's good enough. But I want the 22-year-old to come in. I want to test him. I want to see if he's got the arrogance and the belief and the ego to say, I'm going to keep Ronaldo out of the team. And then I want to see if he's playing better than Ronaldo and scoring more. I want to see what Ten Hag does. I almost want that test to happen at the club because that's what you need. That is what you need.
Ronaldo's going to be kept out of the team.
Because if he doesn't play much, and he stunts his development, and he ends up having a year where he barely plays, doesn't get a lot of confidence because he's not getting a lot of game time, and ends up ruining his confidence. Your fans could turn on him, and it could turn into a situation where you look at him and you might consider him a flop.
Wait, a flop after 1 year? Like it's not like
a lot of people have considered players a flop after 1 year.
Yeah, but you're talking about people in spaces again.
No, look at Lukaku.
Yeah, but Lukaku's an established player who's been playing for flipping years. Darwin Núñez,
and it's even worse for a youngster.
Yeah, but Lukaku.
Gal, the reason Lukaku's completely different is because when Lukaku came in, it was said that this guy is the final. It's the final piece of the puzzle. He was £100 million, blah blah, everything on top.
It is
right?
different.
If Núñez comes in and he's a young talent and he's behind Cristiano Ronaldo, bear that in mind. He's not behind some Cavani, no, Ronaldo. It's not the end of the world. He'll still get game time. It's like he's not going to play at all.
Because in that sense, Man City should never sign players because they'll ruin their confidence because they take a year.
You're not
to get
listening
into
to
the
what
team.
I'm saying.
No, I am listening to what you're saying.
You're signing one of the most young touted strikers that's currently playing in Portugal, telling him he's going to be a backup for a year. Where he's not going to get much
game
time.
Sorry, Gal.
You view it as integrating him. I view it as hindering his development.
Stop a second. But this hindering development thing is nonsense. But he's not being signed as a backup. He's being signed as one of our first team players. We are going to be in the Europa League and the Premier League next year. And there's going to be, if we're successful, 50 plus games. He's going to get opportunity. He's not going to be sitting on the bench, not starting games week in, week out. He's going to get opportunities. Sorry?
He's going to
Ronaldo at 37 with Europa League football. Hopefully staying.
He can't play 50 games.
He's not going to play Europa League striker now. You're paying $100 million for Europa League striker?
No, Egal. Sorry, KJ. Egal. What you're doing is very clever. It's good smoke. We're not paying 100. We're not paying 100 million anyway. It's more like 60 to 70 million. We're not buying Darwin Núñez to win us the Europa League in 1 year. We would be signing Darwin Núñez with the hope that under Ten Hag and the new direction we're trying to go in again for the umpteenth time, that he becomes our star striker for the future. That's what we're signing him for. So isolating Darwin Núñez's season to next year alone, being behind Ronaldo from the start of the campaign and how much he's costing is crazy. It's a bit like you guys. You guys are linked to Gabriel Jesus. You're not signing Gabriel Jesus to try and win the Europa League. You're signing. You're just playing Eddie, and I could be negative for you. You've just signed Eddie and Nketiah.
He's going to start.
Hang on a minute.
He's not going to be sitting behind Eddie Nketiah.
Okay, well, exactly. But you've just given Eddie Nketiah $100,000 a week. That's going to stunt his development. Now you're getting Gabriel Jesus. Terrible signing.
Listen,
and it's going to increase that magic wage.
There's a difference. Terry, don't you dare. Oh my God, you're comparing Eddie Nketiah and Darwin Núñez. Wow.
No.
Why are you signing him?
I'm looking at your knowledge. Igal, because you've got a player that you said on the last stream. You said it's worth the 100K because he's improved. He could develop.
And Darwin Núñez might not be worth it.
Let me finish speaking. He could go to the next level. The point I'm making is Darwin Núñez is the guy for the future at 22 years of age. So having a year where he's integrated and coming off from the bench sometimes, starting sometimes, isn't a problem for the future. It's the complete opposite way around. We're not paying an average player $100,000 a week to sit on the bench and rot that we're then not going to be able to sell. You're having to go at our business, but you're praising yours. That's a madness to me.
No. I honestly think there's a big question on several parts in this deal. One, Cristiano Ronaldo is going to want to play majority of the minutes, and he's not going to get much game time in the league, and you're not going to really get to embed him in as much as you want. Also, what is Ronaldo going to be leaving soon? Is this like an exit plan for Ronaldo? Two, KJ,
yes, he's got 1 year left. Yes.
Let me finish. Also, development of a player at this age, you can hinder his development if he comes into Manchester United and he does not perform to the level you want him to, and he ends up having a situation where Ronaldo should have started, and people started saying, "Why are we even playing this guy?"
But then even if he was a starter, even if he's starting to be a starter, he could still go through that same treatment. You're acting like because he's coming in as a backup player. That's the reason why he's going to get criticized. Sorry, Danny, I've been waiting to speak for how long, innit?
Yeah,
if he comes in, yes, he will have games in the Europa League, in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and guess what? In the league as well, via the bench. Or guess what? Ronaldo has been injured this season, and who have we played for flipping striker? No one. So I don't even want Núñez. This is what I mean. I don't even want Darwin Núñez. But the logic you're coming with, I just don't believe.
So why are you arguing with me if you don't?
Wait. The reason why I'm arguing with you because it's like, come on, bro. You've got better football knowledge than this, bro. Like signing Manchester United have been so benign, so like scorned at for not signing players early enough, not signing players that have the ability to go up to a level, sign them before they go to a Aston Villa or they go to a Brighton. We get told that we should be doing that. So when we try and go do that, now being told we shouldn't be doing that. That's where I'm getting
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. You should be signing some of these players and taking a punt on them. But he's not a punt player. He's a player that is ready to walk into majority of teams.
One sec. But the point is, even that's because we're never going to agree on that. I think it just ends because it's just going back and forth. It ends on, if you use a perfect example as Camavinga, everyone would have said he walks into everyone's team. He wants to start straight away. He's 100%. Gone to Real Madrid. Yeah, he was ready. He was one of the biggest stars in Europe at the time when he was bought by Real Madrid, and people thought he was literally walking in to replace the aging Kroos, Modric, and even after that Champions League run where they got embarrassed by Chelsea and Chelsea went on to win the Champions League, the feeling was Camavinga was going to instantly walk into that centre mid spot to freshen it up. And this year, it hasn't been the case. He's been an impact bench player, and even if Núñez does do that for a year, it's not going to stunt his development. That's actually going to aid his development.
And also, should Núñez not sign for Real Madrid or Liverpool then?
Liverpool might start him.
Your logic falls down when it comes to Liverpool. Look at Konate. Has Konate gone backwards this year because he didn't start all the games?
No.
End of conversation. So I think it's one of those things for me where this is a different take from Olu that says, Terry, how can you sit there with a straight face and call Igal out for stating facts? Núñez will not improve at United. Name me one player that has. Now that's a very different for me.
Terry,
let me respond. Just wait.
Okay, I'll wait.
What you've said there in the comments is very different to what Igal's saying. If Igal says no one should sign for Man United because they ruin all the players they sign, I'd get that logic a lot more because we have done that. So, Olu, I'm not going to disagree with you. I like a lot of the players we're linked with. I like Erik ten Hag. Am I optimistic that it's going to work? Yes. Do I think it's going to? I can't even say that out loud because we've fouled so many times in the last 9 years. So I get where you're coming from with that one. There's no doubt about it. Yes, you were going to say something, Gal.
Konate there's two places he could play. There's two center back positions. There's one striker role. You're not going to play.
Darwin Núñez can play off the striker. He can play on the left as well.
Okay, so if you're going to use him in other roles, that's a different thing. But you're signing him to be a striker. That's my opinion.
And we
are signing him to be a striker. There's one striker role. There's one striker role. One second. You thought you got a checkmate situation with the Konate thing, which is incorrect because there's two center backs. There's two center backs, and he can play in either position.
Actually, no, there's actually one because Van Dijk's the other one.
What you're missing with this other situation is most likely you're signing him to be a striker, and if you're going to sign him as a striker, there's one striker already at your team who's one of the greatest players of all time, and he's not going to want to sit on the bench.
No. Echo, you're wrong. There's only one centre back per position.
Guys, stop. Egal, I know what you're trying to do. I saw you waxing lyrical the other day because you're linked with Osimhen and Gabriel Jesus. By your own logic, you should be angry that you're doing that because one of them's going to suffer and it's going to foul and cause problems at the club. That's why I can't. I know what you're doing is cap, as in you don't believe what you're saying. You're saying it for smoke because when you're linked with, you've just signed Andy Nketiah and you said that was good. You're linked with
Osimhen. You don't like it when I give Man United players smoke.
No, it's not about Man United players. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. I'm not triggered in any way, shape, or form. I'm calm. I'm saying I'm seeing through you. You re-signed Eddie Nketiah, and you said it was a good move. You then celebrate that you're heavily linked to Osimhen and Gabriel Jesus and think you can sign them both.
I don't want Osimhen. I've never said I want him. What are you talking about?
The point is,
have I ever said on the stream I want Osimhen?
You and your Arsenal fans will sit there and celebrate that. But then when it comes to Man United signing, we've only got one striker, and we're going to sign a second striker. Suddenly, oh my God, United got too many strikers. They're all going to foul. It's nonsense. Your friend smokes were linked to a good quality player.
Again, also on top of that, Arsenal. How many Arsenal fans?
David.
I was going to say, how many Arsenal fans have sat there and been like, I'm happy that we're linked to signing Serge Gnabry again. Serge Gnabry is going to halt one of Bukayo Saka or Martinelli's progress. Your problem last season with Arsenal and why you fought towards the end of the season because all your young players like aged out. So if the thing was we just signed Núñez and then we just have Núñez at striker, it doesn't make sense.
David, that's why we know it's not nonsense because
that's different though.
You spoke about signing.
We're not signing. We don't have Gnabry and we're not signing a youngster to mess up his thing. What they're doing, it's completely different.
No, it isn't. Guys, you're signing. The signing's different, but the scenario at the club is going to be the same. The difference is this. This is why it's not a problem to any football fan. And you're trying your best to throw smoke, but it doesn't work.
No, Ronaldo.
What football fans want is the best players possible bought by their club, and then you want the right atmosphere in the dressing room where they're all pushing each other to that next level, and there's a competitiveness in training. That then manifests itself on the football pitch.
You want best players competing.
No football fan worth their salt. This nonsense of but we can't buy another left-sided attacker because it will ruin Martial. That's not how real football fans think. That's how fanboys think when they're trying to defend a particular player. Saka's one of the best young right-sided attackers in world football. But if you guys had the chance tomorrow to sign Mo Salah, it was available for Arsenal. If Arsenal Football Club turned him down for the sake of Saka, you're not a serious football club. You can't do that. You know, if Saka's good enough, he'll rise to the top because you've got to aim for that level.
You have to compete.
Simple as that, my guy. Simple as that.
Does anybody here think that Cristiano Ronaldo would not want to play every game if he's available and fit?
But he's not going to be able to.
You know, he's 37. So whether he likes it or not, he can't play 50 games.
How many games would Darwin Núñez actually play?
You know what? Actually played at Manchester United.
Wait, can't Cristiano play left and he plays striker?
If you're gonna guess, probably 50. Because Ronaldo can't play 50 plus. You know why? But yes, because he can come off. He can come off the bench. You're acting like if we start Ronaldo, he can never come off the bench and get minutes and get game time. We've got plenty of games to play in the Europa League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. We have plenty of games in the Premier League that he can come on or even start. And yes, like I say, Ronaldo's 37. He could get injured. I don't see how signing Núñez is going to stop.
But also, KJ,
final point. I'll move on to the next thing. Final point is this: there's also 5 subs next year. Like, there's going to be enough game time. There really is. Gabriel Jesus and Osimhen not going there. Morata incoming. I did see that Morata link. I can't believe that one myself personally. A question here says, Gavi to Liverpool opinions. Good sign. He's 17, isn't he? Good signing, bad signing.
Bastard kid.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
No.
Good
He's
signing.
good. The kid is good. The kid is good.
Good signing there. Nunes can play on the left too, is what SB has got to say here. Terry, look at United's history. Players want to leave. Oh, listen, I'm not saying it's going to be a success. I'm just saying that the way around we're doing it, you would think could lead to it. Question, KJ, why don't you want Nunes? He gets goals.
Oh, Nunes is a great goal scorer. I think he's got the ability to become an amazing goal scorer. He's still only young yet, but for me, it's just, again, technically and the goals that he scores, it's a lot to do with spacing behind. I don't think he'll get enough space in the Premier League for it to be successful for him. Again, I just don't think he will right now at the age that he is, and also the money that he costs. I personally wouldn't want him, but not because I don't think he will stunt his development. Definitely not that.
If you did get him, do you think he could become the player that you want him to become?
Yeah. Why couldn't he? You know what I mean? I just don't.
Why don't you want it? So you don't want him in the first place, but you think if Manchester United did sign him, it would be a good signing.
No, I don't. I think it would be whatever it is. It would literally. I have no feeling towards it. I would rather Jonathan David.
JJ, what you're doing is you're defending Manchester United, but you don't want the signing. So if he comes to Manchester United, then wouldn't you be worried that he's not going to work out?
Yeah, potentially, but I'm not. It's not because
But not for your reason.
Not for your reason.
Forget
That's
about my
thing.
reason. Forget about my reason. But aren't you worried that he's not going to work out if you did sign him?
But I'm worried about every single player not working out if they come to United.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Where do you think Richarlison could go this summer?
Well, Carlo wants him actually. I think I'm hearing that Carlo wants him at Real Madrid. So, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Richarlison.
I just think Everton's his level.
Yeah. The guy's not good.
He ain't that good. He ain't that good. Comment here says Arsenal will fight between 6th and 8th with Villa and Newcastle. Is what's being said there. We'll see. Igal, please stop with this BS, is what Jerome says.
Thank you for the super chat, Jerome.
Thank you very much. It's a World Cup year, and it should be easy on him getting embedded in the Premier League.
That's another point. Would he want to go and be a backup on a World Cup year when he could be in the
I don't
Who else do Uruguay have as striker?
Guys, the stories are already out. Read the stories, Igal. He's very eager to join Manchester United. It's just not a debate point because he's already said that he would. So, listen, there's other clubs that might come in for him and take him away from Man United because if Liverpool come in, it's a far more attractive proposition right now. There's no doubt about it. No one's going to lie about that. But that question...
I didn't say Manchester United, though.
The question that you've asked has been answered. He is seeking a move to a bigger club. He is asking his agent to do that. So therefore, he's willing to take that risk. It's just, for me, it's a moot point. When we finish 8th for the 3rd time in 4 years next season, you're going to have to rename this show the Top 8. We might have to do that, my friend. Premier League predictions. Listen, you think that the City wins the Champions League, Liverpool drops off. We'll get onto that later in the summer, my friend. We'll touch on that later in the summer, I think, as opposed to now. But gentlemen, I appreciate you all coming on. It's a good show. It's nice with Cow and that on there. Sorry we couldn't take any more calls to bring people in. Back tomorrow, we have Ben Jacobs back on the terrace tomorrow talking more transfers. I'm sure he's got a lot for us on Chelsea. He's very well connected at Chelsea Football Club. That's around 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. But until next time, everyone, look after yourselves. Remember to scan the QR code now to sign up to your free account with So Rare. You can win amazing, like basically football cards. They're absolutely brilliant. They're real monetary value. It's a fantasy football game, the best out there. It really, really is. Get signed up to it now. Use the QR code or the link in our description below. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.